Soon after finishing up your walls and your windows and your doors on the main level, you're going to want to get started on the second level. However, there is just a little bit of preparation that we might be able to do to make it go smoother and better. And what I'm referring to are places like this, places that look a little undone or unfinished. I've got a wall that's just one story here because my entire garage is one story. I've got some walls that are 2 stories, and I only know that by studying some of the images of the outside of my house. And if you feel like some of your walls need to be extended upward, just select them and change their top constraint. If they're set to the top of wall, they're just 1 story, and you might have a roof that drops down and hits part of the house at the first level. So it's okay to have some that are low like this and some that are high. We'll fix the fact that it jumps all the way up like this. Eventually we'll fix that. We'll have a roof in place that might slope from here all the way across. So do the best you can to visualize what walls should be a full 2 stories and they go up to the roof, and what walls should just go up to the top of wall and they're just 1 story. Okay, I'm going to hit undo so that one goes back up. But over here I still have this issue where if I extend this one up, that's just a garage wall, so it's got gypsum board. So I could try it. Never be afraid to just try, but then there's just gypsum board on the outside of the house. So if you try to picture a roof through here, it might come up like this and then down. I'm going to be left with gypsum board exposed up here. So that's not the solution. Okay, you might think, what if I open up the second floor? And by the way, when you open up the second floor, you're either going to see a lot of walls like this, or if you don't have an underlay turned on, come over here to your properties. It might look like this. It might say none under underlay. And then all you see is the second floor. Okay, and if that's confusing, what it's just done now is it's taken all these walls, these interior walls on the first floor, and it's just not showing anything down that far. So the walls that stick up higher, see, I can select this one, that shows up. I can select this one over here, and I can tell I've selected that one right there. Anyways, if this is set to none in your underlay, all you see is a wall that extends up through that second floor. Okay, and if you open this and you see the gap, you might say, well, what would happen if I just trim that? TR for trim. I'll click this one, and then I'll click the other side. First of all, you'll get a warning. And if you dismiss it and look at what happened, you'll see, let me hit undo and redo, that it took the full height of the wall and just ran it through. So this wall got covered up. Now there's going to be siding down in my garage. So that's not a good solution either. Okay, let's go back to the second floor. And what I would need to do to fix this is just create a new wall. And it will only exist on the second floor. It's not one of these that goes from the bottom all the way to the top. It'll just start at a higher point than all the rest of these walls. Okay, and I can choose the same wall type because I want that siding. So I'll select this one, type in CS for create similar. If we look at constraints in properties, it tells us that the bottom of this wall will start at the second floor datum. Okay, that's probably this datum right here. They have names. There it is, second floor. It's all the way up high. It's this datum. And it will extend up to the roof. And I know that's my top datum, so that's this one right here. Okay, and that's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to come over here and before I click anywhere, let's see where the location line is. It's the finish face interior, which means I should probably try to align these walls to their interiors. And as I draw, I pull to the left and I go, oh yeah, this is the interior of both of these, but they still don't line up, do they? Just push the space bar and that'll flip it around my cursor. Now everything's good. I'll pull that over to the left, and if I don't quite get it, I can still do the trim. Here, let's zoom in on this and see what's happening. Okay, on that corner, yeah, it just extends a little bit too far, but I can still do the trim. There we have it. And if we study this for just a minute, that looks pretty good. Looks like my siding stops and starts up again, continues all the way through, and or I guess that wall extends all the way across like it should. And the only problem is there's a weird gap down here. I don't want you to worry about that right now. That'll be something we take care of another day. And the reason why it's there is because there's floor structure that's going to be down inside here. And that floor will extend from this wall across to form the second floor over the top of all of these interior walls. Okay, so we solved it. We may have other areas on the inside that also need to be addressed. Like, look at your stairs. This is my main floor plan. This is what I'm trying to recreate. Okay, and everywhere that you have a stair, you've got a wall that has to go up 2 stories, right? Wherever that stair is, it's up against a wall where one of them, at least one side, has to extend up 2 stories. And actually, even as I say that, that's not entirely true. That's let me rephrase that. Sometimes you have a wall that extends up 2 stories, so it's going to go all the way to the roof from the ground level. And I happen to, and I know that because if I look at my other floor plan here, my second floor, this is the second floor, and here's those same stairs, and I got a wall in the same place. So just do that for your own floor plan. Look and see if you've got a wall on either side of the stair that exists on both levels. In this case, there's not a wall on this side. That's just a railing. It almost looks like a wall, but it's not. Okay, so if you have that, go find that wall. And let's see, here's mine. And I'm going to tell that to go up all the way to the roof, just like my exterior walls did. And I better get this one too. Actually, better yet, that one is a plumbing wall, so it's too thick. Right? I don't necessarily want to extend that all the way up. So for this one, I'll just leave it alone, and I'll draw a wall that only exists on the second level that's not a 2x6. It'll be a 2x4, just like this one. So I'm done. I'm ready now to go get started on drawing all the walls in the second level, and that'll happen in the next video.